Hi scrapbookers, this is Megan and I am back with another challenge layout. And for this one, Ronnie, Jennifer K, and I are going to be doing a mixed media page where we kind of make our own backgrounds. Now for this layout, I did get inspiration from the Crafty Maven Getaway, and for the layout you will have seen the page that I'm going to be scrap lifting here at the beginning of the video. So what I thought was I had these photos from my middle son's 3rd birthday, and I just picked out some of my favorites from that day, and I'm going to kind of make this like a highlights page, and this will be the first page you see from his birthday, and then the next page over to the, to the right of it will be a Project Life spread, and it will have a bunch more photos. So here I'm just deciding which photos I want to use. I was thinking I would use either 4 or 5, and I think I had picked out 6 or 7 photos. And so I'm just kind of going through them and using my Fiskars 1 inch, I think it's 1 inch hole punch, and I'm just punching holes out of it. So I completely messed up this photo because I was thinking, oh, I really want this photo to be on here, but I couldn't get Brennan and the goat in the picture at the same time. So I thought, oh, I'll just kind of, make my own little circle, and it doesn't work out. It looks really dumb. And so I'm like, okay, never mind. I'm just going to scrap that photo and I'll just print it again and just put it in one of the Project Life pages. So now here I'm going to get started with my gesso on the background, and at this moment I'm not really exactly sure what I'm going to be doing with my background. So I'm just prepping it with some gesso just to make sure that I do a lot of mixed media, and in the end I hardly do any at all. So I didn't really need to use all of this gesso, but it's better to be safe than, to regret it in the end. So now I am going to grab my heat gun. I'm putting all my gesso away and plugging in my heat gun. I have like a mess of cords to the left of my scrapbooking desk, and I really, really need to just get it organized and figured out, because when I want to plug something in, I only have one extra plug that isn't always plugged in, and so I always have to figure out what goes with what, and yeah, so it was kind of frustrating to get that in, but I finally got it, and now here I'm just going to use this heat gun to quickly dry the background. And I have Tinian, who is my 5-year-old, with me right now. He is sick today, and so he's watching the Diamond Minecart on YouTube to keep him company. So if you can hear him, I apologize about that, but hopefully you can't hear it too hard. I don't know what I'm thinking today. I didn't get very much sleep last night because Tinian kept waking up, and he's got a fever, just blah. Sick days are no fun. So anyway, so there I cleaned up my workspace, and now I am going to pull my layout over. And it's still a little bit wet on the back because I did get some gesso on the back. So I was just cleaning that up. And now I'm going to start with the circles of my layout, and I'm thinking that maybe I should do some spray misting or something, and then I decided that I was going to pull out these what are they called, embossing folders, and I saw this idea on Pinterest where someone used an embossing folder and they used the pattern that wasn't on the embossing folder or something like that. I don't quite remember what it was. So I thought that I would go through my embossing folders and pick out one that I really liked, and then I would just use an ink pad and kind of go over it so that the pattern would go onto the layout. But in the end I was like, well, I don't know if I'll really like that, and so I did have a couple stencils that I've made using my silhouette, and so I pulled those out, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to use this one over here on this left hand side, And I spend quite a bit of time just kind of playing around, trying to figure out what I'm doing, because I just don't know what I want to do for this layout. I think having the layout that I was scrap lifting, it was kind of holding me back. Like if I hadn't really wanted to stick to the scrap lift, I think I probably could have done this layout a bit faster and probably done a little bit more mixed media on it. But I just kind of felt constrained by the scrap lift, and which is okay. Like I wanted it to be like the scrap lift. I really liked that layout. Okay, so here I'm using this Chamel numbered paper, and this is the year that Brennan is turning 3. And so I cut out a bunch of circles that had the letter that had the number 3 on it. And now here I'm totally just going to take everything off and grab some washi tape and tape down this stencil, and I'm just going to decide to use this. And I kind of wish that I would have done it differently, because I'm not very good at just using a stencil to spray, because I usually spray too much. And you can see there that there's like a line. And so it was kind of like, ugh. So it wasn't even, and I don't know. I mean, it turns out okay. But I kind of wish that I would have just mixed some gesso or, something like that, some modeling paste with the blue Dylusions ink. And I don't know what color that is, so I apologize. But it's one of their blue colors. I know they have probably a lot of blues, but anyway, here I'm just kind of cleaning up my table, and then I'm going to come back and it's going to be all dry. So now here I'm going to start placing all these papers and photos on the layout. And this is where I'm going to go through my photos or not my photos, go through my papers. Oh, I guess I did go through my photos. So I was right because I didn't like those 2 that I had cut up, and so I decided to use this picture instead, because I did decide that I wanted to do 4 photos. So I'm going to cut down that photo just a little bit so that my circle punch could get Brennan in the picture a little bit more, and then I'm going to put that picture down in the bottom right. I think that's where I'm going to put that. No, actually, I think I kind of switch all of these photos up. So, yeah, there we go. So now here I'm just going to start placing around these photos, oh my goodness, sorry you guys. Like I said, I didn't get very much sleep last night. It's kind of a long night, so yeah. So here I'm going to use this diagonal stripe from the Chamel collection. All these papers are from the Chamel collection except for the background, which was just a white close to my heart cardstock. Now here I'm going to punch out some of these papers. So that diagonal stripe was kind of like a pink and a light pink and kind of like a pinkish red. And I'm going to use that paper I think instead of the numbered paper. So here I'm just going through all of these wood veneers. I did pull out a bunch of her ephemera and wood veneers that I had bought, last year, and I just haven't ever used. And I wanted to use up a lot of it, but I end up only using that wood veneer, the circle wood veneer, which goes along with the other circles. And I think that's all. I do have that the wonderful, something about being wonderful, die cut right next to that photo of Brennan, but I'm not going to end up using that because I did want the title to be Happy 3rd Birthday. And so that's what I'm going to take that off eventually. So here I'm just kind of fussing around with the papers, and I did pull out some of these from her 6x6 pad that I bought, and I'm going to use this heart one. And I'm just going to use 2 little punches of those. And I think that's all the punches that are the pattern papers that I use. So now here is where I'm going to start fiddling around with the placement of the photos and the pattern papers together. And this is where I decide to pull in a different circle. And I wanted it to be a little bit bigger than the other circles because I did want to put my title on there. And so here is where I'm going to start doing my, placing down all my circles. So I'm going to spend some time doing that. Poor Tinny, huh? You're not feeling well today? I'm sorry. Poor baby. I hate it when my kids are sick. I mean, of course we hate it, but it's like when you're sick, you hate it, but it's really not that bad. But when your kids are sick, it's like horrible. Because you wish you could do something and really you can't do very much. And I actually have errands that I need to run today, and so I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to just bring him with me, which is probably a huge no-no, but I have to get these things done. I can't wait to get them done. So I know, buddy, I'm sorry. Okay, so here now I have all of those papers down, and I'm trying to decide which alpha I want to use as my title. And I pulled out a couple different ones, different thickers, and I really liked these gold. There were 2 gold ones that I pulled out. And I'm going to kind of decide between these 2 gold. And I really like both of the gold. And I'm just kind of seeing how many I have left on here. I don't think I've used any of these. I did buy these from Oh Snap Gonzo on YouTube. And so this gold one had a few letters gone, I think. But this is the one that I'm going to end up using. And so my title is just going to say Happy 3rd Birthday. I know, buddy. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to pull off all the letters for that. And then I'm going to kind of mess with the title for a while. Like, I'm going to put it down and I'm just not going to like where I put it at all. So I'm going to pick it back up and do something different. And then, yeah, it's just a huge ordeal. So here I'm I'm putting down my photos, and I'm going to glue down that wood veneer. And then I'm going to glue down the black circle as well as the other photos, and then I will finish with the title. This layout took me 1 hour and 5 minutes, which actually isn't really that bad for how much fussing I did, but at the same time, this layout could have been so easy. I don't know why it just took so long. I know, buddy. Do you want to say hi? Say hi, YouTube. No, you're not in the mood. I know. He keeps complaining about his head hurting, and he doesn't like to take medicine, and so he doesn't want medicine. It's going to be a fun day, but I wanted to make sure that I could get this voiceover done and get this up because it was supposed to be up yesterday, which was Sunday. So I'm getting to it, today, which is Monday. So that is how I'm going to leave my layout for right now, or my title for right now. And here I'm just going to cut off the edges of those circles that were hanging over the paper, and I'm going to spend some time thinking about what I want to do next. Oh no, this is where I do the title. I do decide to move the title. So I'm kind of playing around with different placements of the word birthday because I just really don't like how it's placed on there. And I like this, but at the same time it just looks funky. And I was thinking, well, I could just turn it all to the side, but then I don't really end up liking that because it's just so spread out over the layout. So here I decide to put the word happy on top of that black circle. I'm going to put the word 3rd right under that. And then birthday, I'm going to kind of do it at like on the curve of the bottom of the circle, but I mean, not too much, just a little bit. And it's still not my favorite, but it's okay. So I'm going to kind of fuss with this for a little while. And these alphas are chipboard, so they aren't very sticky. I'm not going to glue them down while I'm recording. I'm going to do that afterwards, and I'm really glad that I did that because it took forever to glue them down. I just finally broke down and bought those fine line bottles from Hobby Lobby, and I finally used it for the first time, and it just had my Tombow aqua glue in it, but it was so hard to get it to come out. I don't know why. I don't know if I just didn't have enough air in the bottle or something, or I don't know. Okay, so now I'm going to do some splatters on the layout on the left side. Actually, I think I do it on both sides. And I'm going to do blue, and then I think I'm going to do pink as well. Oh, and I did decide to kind of color in this heart on the wood veneer. And yeah, I think that is it for this layout. I will pull out some homemade spray and do some pink in just a minute. So this one, all I did was I put a little bit of paint in the bottle and then I added water. So, and I think I added too much water because it's not a very dark color. So yeah, that is the end of this layout. Be sure to check out everybody else's videos. I will put links to their videos below, and I will see you guys next week. We are going to be using cork next week. So I look forward to that. We'll see you guys later. Bye.